Imagine you're standing on a flat, endless battlefield. All around you, over 100,000 enemy soldiers. War elephants lumbering, chariots with blades spinning, cavalry everywhere. And right there, the most powerful king of the time, Darius III. Sounds insane, right? That's Gaugamela, 331 BC. And somehow, a young guy from Macedonia, Alexander the Great, was about to take it all. Alexander became king of Macedonia at just 20, after his father Philip VI was assassinated. He inherited a strong army and a kingdom that was ready for conquest. His goal? To unify Greece and take on the Persian Empire, the largest empire the world had ever seen. But he didn't just rely on brute force. Alexander was smart politically. He built alliances, secured cities, and kept his army loyal and motivated. Meanwhile, Darius III was the Persian king. The empire was enormous, stretching from the Indus River to the Aegean Sea. But it had problems: rebellious governors, political instability, and a huge territory to defend. When Alexander started invading Asia Minor, Darius underestimated him. After defeats at Granicus and later Issus, where Alexander's smaller but disciplined army broke through, Darius realized he faced a real threat. He had been personally humiliated, fleeing the battlefield and leaving his family behind. Now, he was determined to crush Alexander once and for all. But before we get to the battle, let's rewind a bit. This rivalry, it wasn't overnight. Alexander and Darius had a history, and it was personal. In 334 BC, Alexander invaded Asia Minor. His first big fight was at the river Granicus. He crushed the Persian satraps, trying to stop him. It was a warning shot to Darius. This kid wasn't messing around. Then, in 333 BC, the famous Battle of Issus happened. Alexander's army was smaller, but way more organized. Darius had the numbers, but he panicked. He fled, leaving behind his mother, wife, and daughters. Imagine losing a battle and your entire family ends up as captives. From then on, it wasn't just a war for land. It was personal humiliation. Darius wanted revenge. Alexander wanted to prove he was destined to rule Asia. After Issus, Alexander didn't just fight battles. He started winning over cities and satraps, taking control of key trade routes. Persian governors switched sides. Some saw the writing on the wall. Meanwhile, Darius tried to rebuild his army. He recruited more soldiers, more cavalry, even war elephants, and prepared a battlefield of his choice. Gaugamela, what is now northern Iraq. He wanted one final showdown, a place where his numbers could dominate the Macedonians. Alexander, on the other hand, was smart politically too. He kept his troops motivated, promising rewards and glory. He secured supply lines across conquered territories, making sure his army could move fast and fight efficiently. Both kings were playing not just a military game, but a political chess match. Every city, every governor, every alliance mattered. By the time they met at Gaugamela, Darius had an army of over 100,000 men, with war chariots and cavalry on the flanks. Alexander had around 47,000 soldiers, but highly trained and loyal. The battlefield was flat, perfect for Darius's numbers, but also a trap if used correctly. Alexander carefully scouted the area, assessed the enemy formations, and planned his attack. He pretended to retreat on his right flank to lure the Persian cavalry forward. Darius fell for it. His forces surged toward that side, leaving a gap in the center. This is the moment that changed everything. Alexander led his elite cavalry straight into the heart of the Persian army. They cut a wedge right toward King Darius himself. After Gaugamela, Alexander didn't stop. He marched into Babylon, then Susa, and finally Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of Persia. The Persian Empire, once the most powerful in the world, was effectively gone. Politically, Alexander consolidated power fast. He adopted some Persian customs to win over the people, married into Persian royalty, and appointed former Persian officials to govern cities. He wasn't just a conqueror. He was building a multi-ethnic empire. Meanwhile, Darius tried to flee east, seeking another chance, but he was betrayed by his own satraps. Alexander eventually caught up to him, and Darius was killed. It was the end of the Persian dynasty and the beginning of Alexander's path toward becoming the ruler of the known world. Darius panicked and fled the battlefield. Without their king, the morale of the Persian army collapsed. It wasn't just a defeat, it was a total rout. Gaugamela wasn't just a battle. It was the climax of years of rivalry, political maneuvering, and personal revenge. It showed that strategy, courage, and timing could beat even the largest army. It's the day Alexander proved he wasn't just lucky, he was unstoppable.